What is up, my Jedi and Sith friends? Welcome to Sith Happens. And we've been gone for 2 weeks. We're trying to locate our boy JC, but I got with me here today. I'm Thor Gunderson here with my boy Mr. Fett, Paradox Nerd.
What's up, guys? I got my X-Wing here. I'm ready for this chat. What's going on, everybody out there?
Oh,
we
man.
got some good topics to talk about today.
I know what this man gonna show with sparklers, X-Wing fighters.
Next will be glow sticks. I'll be raving during the whole chat.
Oh,
What's
man.
going on, guys?
How you been there, Paradox? Anything new? I saw you got that Death Trooper specialist there, Paradox.
Oh, yeah. I actually have to edit that video. It was a painful unboxing. My Vader. It's a great piece. It's just there's so many like Velcros, so many little pieces that I had to use my like fat fingers to put together. It was, oh my gosh, one of the most annoying and most painful unboxings of any statues I've ever done. But once I put it together, it looks great. I'm really happy that I bought it. I'm actually really surprised, and I'll put that video out there pretty soon once I'm done editing it. So you'll see, actually in the video, you're gonna see me going from happy to super frustrated. You see my face, I'm like, hey guys, and then I'm like,
yeah, it looked difficult in that sideshow out of the box. It even looked like it was hard to put together,
Yeah, to be honest, I wish they kind of put some instruction manual, like XM Studios, okay, this goes here and here and here. I mean, I printed out the manual on their website, and it was black and white, and I couldn't see where things needed to go. I mean, the Death Trooper's black, and the instruction manual was black and white, so I'm like, I can't see what where to put this. So I was like, all right, well, whatever. It was good. It's an awesome piece. I highly recommend it, but I'll put that video out there in the next couple days. So. Right. How about you, Thor? You pick up, I know you picked up.
I did, but it ain't really related.
I see something in the back. Oh, nice.
Darth Blaze back there,
That's a beautiful piece, man. Congrats.
Thanks. I appreciate it. So,
actually, real quick, any new Star Wars stuff that's coming in the works, or statues or anything you're looking at?
Well, maybe later in the year, I might pick up that XM Luke Skywalker. I'm looking at the Maul. I already have 2 Mauls, so I probably won't get the Maul. Mm-hmm. The Vader, I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me because it's basically his normal pose,
Yeah.
So, I mean, the little Anakin and the Sith Anakin, I really, I don't know. I just, for the money, if they sold the Vader by himself, maybe, but if you got to get them all together.
Yeah, but they should have picked a different pose for him, to be honest.
I was hoping it was the meditation chamber, because usually XM is a lot more elaborate with their poses. And to be honest with that one, I was a little disappointed, So,
yeah.
But here we go. We got a jam-packed show for you today, and we're going to dip into some Star Wars lore for you first. We're going to talk about something that I want to talk about for a long time, the 7 forms of Jedi combat. And digging into this is really, it kind of reminds you of Kung Fu, the way they use the different styles. And in a later show, we're going to get into what type of sabers they use, because it directly relates to the saber styles, as you'll find out as we talk about it.
Okay.
So form 1 is called Shicho. Mm-hmm. This is the most basic form of Jedi combat, most ancient form. Once the Jedi Order began, it was a form which was taught to younglings. Now, once the Jedi got organized, and notable users of this form is Kit Fisto, Yoda, Luke Skywalker. And also this form is used to take on large amounts of opponents, say 1 against, say, 5 opponents. And so, yeah, Paradox, Yoda, Kit Fisto, Luke Skywalker. What do you think?
For Shicho, I know Shicho is what they teach first to the younglings, right? Is that I know Luke Skywalker used that in Episode 4 when he was deflecting all the blasters from that little robot that was coming, right?
That one actually is a later one. Shicho was more of from Jedi when he was on the barge, and you saw he kind of used wide swings to sort of clear everybody off the barge. That's what Shicho did.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
They say Yoda, but to me, a later form that we're gonna get into reminds me more of Yoda. But they say this is a Yoda form, and you find that as you get through these forms, they kind of hybridize them. Like certain people use different forms, you know, and some forms are actually broken down into two parts. But this one, you know, really, it's a basic form. You know, the younglings learn it, and you would figure Luke would use because you know he was learning from Yoda, and you figure he was the most basic form. You know, he didn't have time to get too complex as time went on. But yes, no, go ahead, bro.
Quick question: is this like the one where, like, I know Kit Fisto used it? He's the master of this one, right? Is that correct?
One of them, yeah.
And this is basically mostly like disarming. Like they don't want to hurt the opponent.
Right, exactly.
It's just mostly just disarming them and just kind of like, all right, you're countered. You don't have like your weapon or whatever, and that's it, right? It's more of a
basically
peaceful form.
You know, you know how the Jedi think. They subdue. All right, let's go here peacefully. You know, this ain't really a Sith form here.
The boring form.
Pretty much.
So for me, I'm not using Shicho. Forget that. I was kidding.
No.
Okay, that's cool. I know. Just really quick, going for in the Clone Wars that Kit Fisto used it against General Grievous, right, or something like that, in one of the episodes.
I can't remember, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
If you saw him when he did it, I can't remember. Did he disarm General Grievous?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I think from what I was watching, it's been such a long time. I think he didn't. I don't think he did, but I think he held his own against General Grievous.
Oh, that's what's up. He survived because he was killed by Palpatine. So
yeah,
he must have survived the encounter.
Yeah.
So, but next form is one that is called Makashi, more refined form. Based on movement and precision, users of this form often appear to be dancing. This form was developed once the Jedi started encountering the Sith and actual saber duels started to begin. And this one, I think, when Anakin became Vader, he used this more because he kind of had to reinvent himself because he wasn't as agile and couldn't move as well. So he had to use leverage and situations like that. But usually the users of this form use a curved hilt. And as I studied this, I found out that's why Asajj Ventress uses curved hilts because she was trained like Dooku. And so that's why also her hilts on her sabers are curved because she learned Makashi from Dooku.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Dooku is the master of this, correct?
And usually is one battle in particular we see him. It's on the Clone Wars cartoon where he fights Anakin and Obi-Wan at the same time. He kind of has one arm behind the back, and he's just using. And if you notice in Empire, Vader at the beginning of the encounter, he was using one arm, one hand with the same. Remember, Luke tried to hit him with both, and he just sort of one arm and just pushed him off. He was using
Makashi, yeah. And also in the Clone Wars, also like he was kind of like it looked like he was dancing around, more like a fencer, right? He was just like
about footwork. Makashi knew about footwork and precision, and they say, and it does make sense to say users of this form are more arrogant. You know what I mean? And Dooku was definitely that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, I could see where they were coming from, and even Vader, when he was sort of toying with Luke at the beginning of that duel. He was a little cocky because he hit him to the ground. If you notice, he had one hand. Like I'm like, get up, man. You know what I mean? So he was a little. My boy was a little cocky at the beginning of that duel. You know?
Yeah. So, but I like it. I mean, to be honest, I'm not a big fan of it because it just. I mean, it serves its purpose. It's a pretty unique fighting style. It's like a fencing fighter style, but I mean, it's pretty. Not my favorite, but it's pretty cool.
Now we're getting into some of the more technical Jedi forms. The form 3 is called Arisu.
Okay.
It was developed in response to advancement of blaster technology. Now we're getting to where this is where Luke learned from Obi-Wan on the Millennium Falcon. This form maximizes defense protection, efficient movement that expose minimal target areas. And masters of this is Obi-Wan Kenobi is the most Darth Bane, are the two most. Oh, wait a minute. JC is here, brother. What's happening?
What's up, JC? All right, we need to catch it. All right.
Yeah, you coming to catch him up. Good night. We're on Forum 3 of Jedi Combat, JC Sarisu. Again, I'll go over it again. Was developed in response to advancement of blaster technology. This form maximizes defense protection, efficient movement that exposed minimal target areas. So basically, they developed it when blasters were starting to be used on them. They had to find some kind of protection to disrupt blaster fire. And Obi-Wan Kenobi is the notable user of this form.
Chris, any thoughts?
I'm still catching up, guys. Sorry.
Okay. Go ahead, actually, hey, Thor, did you want to have maybe Chris go over the first two fighting styles really quick, and then we'll catch up with?
Sure. Oh, yeah. So. Yeah, I end up creating a little cheat sheet here that not only does it talk about the styles, it talks about like one or two people that are well known for using it, and then I have which I knew about the different names for when they target certain parts of the body. I just didn't remember the names. I found those as well. So basically, if a Jedi cuts your head off, that's the ultimate disrespect. Just throwing it out there. Yeah, no hating on Jango Fett, but yeah.
And Dooku.
Well, that was more of an assassination. So.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
Tempting him to the dark side. So.
Okay. So what'd you think of Shichu? That's the one of the forms that we went over.
This is the most basic form. That's the one they teach younglings in the beginning, and also used to fight large amounts of opponents. For the example would be Luke in Return of the Jedi when he was on the sail barge and sort of like clearing them off. He's like using wide strokes to get people off the barge. That's Shichu.
Correct. It's not very useful if you're going up against another person who's got lightsaber skills. Back in the Old Republic, it was very common, but as time progressed, that became more of a basic skill set. So.
Oh, Jesse Hernandez, what's up, man? How's it going? Christopher Lee, what's up, everyone?
Nice. Doku here.
Oh, Charles, he's one of our main.
Oh, what's up, man?
Main viewers, man. He's there every single day, man. That we go live. So, what's up, Charles?
Nice.
Kyle, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, I forgot to mention before we go any further, we will be giving away the Lord of the Dark Side, Coda Bakia.
Ooh.
JC got a special. Special trivia question for you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I actually typed it up, so I have a separate cheat sheet here with my Q&A, so I don't have to sit there and. Like I said, I was digging through the books trying to find a really good, a difficult question, and I was digging, and I'm like, I'm going Old Republic, screw this stuff, and yeah, I found I was reintroduced to stuff that I completely forgot about. I'm like, oh crap! So I thought Nagashata was like the oldest of the Sith, and I discovered that no, no. I'm like, damn. I just got reschooled.
Baby can be wrong sometimes. Yeah, I thought Nagasita was it too.
I mean, I got so wrapped around the Old Republic, like Ula Drama and Exar Kun and Naomi Sunrider, and I'm like, wait a minute, there's a whole other layer that I completely forgot about. Yeah, so there you go. Even Jedi Chris freak stuff. So.
I got Qui-Gon Jinn. We just got a question about Qui-Gon Jinn using a heavy fighting style. I believe his fighting style comes later. I will mention him when we get to it. But we haven't gotten to. You would think he would use Sarisu because he trained Obi-Wan Kenobi, but no. And we'll talk about that too because you can see evidence of that in Obi-Wan Kenobi's last duel with Darth Maul. So we will ask you a question. We'll get to it when we get to that style. But just to catch up, Makashi was Form 2. This is used by Count Dooku. This form was developed once the Jedi start encountering the Sith, once actual duels start beginning. It's more refined form based on movement and precision. Uses this form appear to be dancing, like sort of fencing, like it's based on footwork and leverage. And also Shak Ti was a big user of this form also. So just to catch up before we do Surisu.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So Surisu obviously is a defensive form basically, and made most famous by Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that's also developed once Blast of Fire came into play, and so that paradox is what you see Luke training with on the Millennium Falcon. So strangely, he didn't start out with Form 1, and he just went straight to teaching them his Form 3 when they were on the Millennium Falcon. So this is Obi-Wan Kenobi, Darth Bane, and obviously this is a very difficult to master. Think about, if you think about it in boxing terms, think about Floyd Mayweather. He's a defensive fighter. He waits for you and then he counter moves. That's basically what Surisu is.
It's kind of like a ballet dance with a lightsaber, and you'll notice at the Geonosian battle, the Geonosian battle scene where Luminara Unduli and Barriss Offee show up, and she kind of whips the blade around like she's getting ready to dance. She was progressing into a defensive posture, ready to go, and it's very fluid movement.
Yeah. I actually like it. I mean, and Obi-Wan being like the master of Surisu was, I think in terms of movie, it was shown perfectly in Episode 3 against Anakin. Oh my gosh. That's not the best like fighting scene of all the Star Wars movies. I don't know what to say. But Surisu, like, you see it, man. Like, it's just like with Obi-Wan countering everything that was thrown at him by Anakin. And Anakin was using, which we'll touch upon later, was like Form 5, right?
Great.
And it just, I don't know. It's just so this is one of my favorite fighting styles, and Obi-Wan has used it against so many opponents. General Grievous, Anakin, Dooku. It's just, and how many has he beaten and come out top? Darth Maul. I mean, it's twice. A lot, and
twice. So he was definitely a master. I mean, if you think about you're correct. All the people that Obi-Wan took out. I mean, and obviously, he got older, and he just knew that when as Vader, on the first Death Star, he just knew his time had come. I think due to in not being in practice, and not he hadn't dueled anyone in probably decades. So he knew. But in his heyday, I mean, you couldn't take anything away from him. I mean, he was definitely a dual master. And and anybody got anything else on Form 3?
To that scene in was Rebels, when, I mean, spoiler alert, guys, when Darth Maul faced Obi-Wan again. I mean, that scene was quick, but it was art, man. It was like samurai style. Like, you got the aggressor versus the defensive style, and he took him out quick. So I don't know what you guys think about that fight scene. I just thought he reverted to answer the question from earlier. He reverted into Qui-Gon's form, which is pretty much Form 6. Form 6 kind of combines most of the forms together, and so he baited Darth Maul into thinking that's the form he was going to use. So as he used the same technique as he did on Qui-Gon, he reverted back to 3 and stopped both his blows, cut his saber in half, and ultimately we went right through the chest plate. And Form 6 that Qui-Gon used, it can be an aggressive style, but it's really a hybrid of all the forms together except for Form 7, which was pretty much banned by the Jedi. But we'll get into that. To answer your question, yes, Qui-Gon's form is very aggressive form also. Probably too aggressive, not as defensive as you would like.
That's probably why Darth Maul got him.
Yeah.
So form 4, moving on, is called a Taru. Most acrobatic form relies on the user's ability to run, jump, spin using the Force. The user resembles a blur when mastering said form. Most of your older Jedis, Yoda, Palpatine, use this to make up for their physical incapabilities. They use to the Force to become more nimble. Also, Shakti, Ahsoka use this also. So when you see people bouncing off of walls and flying, think about Palpatine when the Mace Windu and all the Jedi came to his office. That was a Taru. So what you guys think about this one?
No, I also know that Qui-Gon in the comic books used that as well. Just so you know, so he used the Taru. He's kind of one of the unspoken multiple style master that you have to kind of catch it. I think the end of episode 3, you got to see a lot of different styles. Counter and then counter again, and I think the fight scene between Anakin and Obi-Wan shows a lot of that. Just for example. So, sorry, I'm really distracted today. I'm trying to get focused.
No,
that's fine. So, just a quick question, guys: isn't this Master Yoda's fighting style too? Like the Ataru?
Yeah,
and
he mentioned Yoda and Palpatine also.
Yeah, and Yoda is the one that completely mastered this fighting style, right? Where he's just like jumping. You see him in like episode 2 jumping around. In Clone Wars, he's jumping around. Like episode 3, it's like, and this is one of the forms where when he's fighting Darth Sidious, that he was holding his own, and they considered Darth Sidious one of the fastest lightsaber duelists out at that time, and for Yoda to hold his own and kind of spin around. I mean, he was killing. I mean, for Order 66, didn't he defend himself against, Commander Cody and, anybody else? It's just such an awesome fighting style. I mean, one of my favorites also. I really like this fighting style. It's very aggressive too, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to be, because, you're using the Force to make up for your physical shortcomings mostly. Like, there's a few young Jedi that uses also, but it's aggressive due to the movement. It's not very defensive. Your biggest defense is your speed that you're using to out with your opponent, basically. You know what I mean? So it's like they described it as the actual movement of the person looks like a blur. So you think about when Palpatine did that first spin as he jumped toward those Jedi when they came in his office, and he kind of looked like a blur, but he was spinning, doing like a pinwheel sort of spinning. That's this form here. It's basically what it is.
You are correct.
So now here comes form close to my heart. It's actually cut into 2 parts. It's called Form 5. The first, Jimso and Shien. The hybrid form of Form 3. This form contained 2 stages. Stage 1, Shien allowed the user to counterattack blaster fire redirected to the fire. Good against large groups, but somehow not effective against a single target, as far as blaster fire goes. But it wasn't really, Shien wasn't good against for dueling. So they developed Jimso, created to counter glaring weaknesses that Shien had focused solely on lightsaber dueling. The difference between compared to Surisu is the user used more powerful counterattacks. Think Darth Vader. And the Anakin Skywalker, later on Darth Vader, and Luke Skywalker actually used this against him when on the second Death Star in their final duel. Now, one thing, even as a small child, I noticed this about Vader. I don't know if you guys remember went back to the Empire duel once again. Once as they were going out onto the catwalk, and Luke did it to him in Jedi also. You notice Vader kind of cuts him off. Luke tries to move this way. Vader he aims for the pole, and he moves again, and he does it on the other side. He does, and it's sort of about cutting off movement. You know what I mean? And in Jedi, Luke did it to him. Like Vader tried to move, and Luke cuts him off. I can see it in my head. I'm trying to describe to you, but go back and watch those 2 duels, and you'll see what I mean. Yeah. And it's about cutting off your opponent and limiting the space that he can move to, so you can ultimately trap him and take him out.
It's like a deadly game of chess. It's also called the Way of the Crate Dragon. It's the way the animal would hunt. It would basically cut off any escape from its prey. So that gives you an idea just how effective that maneuver is, and it's very, very subtle but intense at the same time. I know that's like it's conflicting, but yeah, that's how it works.
Quick question, Thor. Which ones he used both of their styles, the styles in episode 3, right? As Anakin.
As Anakin, he used the second one because it was a duel. Jimso is he used Jimso. That's the dueling style. Sheehan is for the blaster fire. But Sheehan is the hallway scene in Rogue One. Yeah, that was what they developed to actually counter the blaster fire and go back at the fire. But Form 3 was just to block it. You know what I mean? So they could just, so they wouldn't get hit by them. Now they were trying to develop one to repel the blasters back at the actual fire. Yeah. So that's Form 5.
But you also notice whether it's on a battlefield or inside, like a cargo walkway, cargo bay walkway, something like that. It's very tight. You notice that you might get a few lightsaber burns on the bulkheads and ceiling, but for the most part, it's a very tight, controlled movement. And when you see it, if anyone's watching this and watch the movie again, you'll see there'll be a few lightsaber burns here and there, but most of it's very tight. It's centered around the person, protecting the person, and counter striking and deflecting the blaster bolts and stuff. So very effective.
I think he used that also in episode 3. Remember, he was killing the what are those guys? The long, I forgot the one. They look like they had a Japanese accent. The Mustafar. And then the Viceroy, the Viceroys, and then someone shot him, and he just did one of this as he walked away.
One of the shot at him, right?
Yeah, in the back.
I think that was he was just showing off, maybe, but that was still 4-5. He really, as Anakin, he really didn't deviate too much. Even though Obi-Wan trained him pretty much through his whole career as Anakin, he pretty much stuck to Form 5. And even if you watch Rebels, I can't remember if they were watching. Somebody was watching a hollow vid of him actually instructing on Form 5, and Ahsoka was watching it, and they were saying, "Man, he was something." She was like, "Yeah, he was." This is before he was Vader, obviously. But so he pretty much mastered it.
Yeah, to be honest, this is my favorite. Jyn Erso's fighting style. Actually, she was.
That's the 69th form of Jedi combat.
That's right.
Shout out to Rick, by the way. 69th form. That was Rick's favorite not character in the movie, but I have to say Form 5 is my favorite personally. If I were to choose out of all the forms, this is my favorite, just because it's Anakin, and yes, I'm biased, but just to see him fight in episode 3 against Dooku, and against against Obi-Wan, it uses all his I know Form 5 uses his emotions, but it's controlled, and he's just going at it, and you see that duel against Obi-Wan. It's beautiful. He's swinging it around. He's just going aggressive, and you see Obi-Wan being so defensive the whole time and countering everything. It's guys, highly recommend it. Watch that scene again after you listen to our show as we talk about this fighting style. It's to me, I really like this form, and one of my favorites out of all of them.
No, I agree. If basically if it wasn't for the high ground, that duel was pretty much a stalemate. If you think about it, nobody really got the upper hand, aside for the him getting the high ground.
You underestimate my power.
Do it, Anakin. The famous high ground. Oh,
yeah. Later on, we'll get into why the high ground. Another show, we'll get into why the high ground was so important, because I did see a vid on that one day.
Okay.
Moving on, Form 6 is called Neiman, a form that attempted to mend all forms of combat. Together, less intense and more balanced combat style, more improvisational. Has a strict movements as to the other style. Has more strict movements as opposed to the other styles. Now, this was Darth Maul was the master of this, and also Form 7. Also, Saj Ventress was famous with this style. And then you also, like you say, Form 4 and Form 6, sort of hybrid. That was Qui-Gon Jinn. That got into this style. So Darth Maul, people, that's the main character you think about when you think of Neiman.
Yeah. Also, believe it or not, even though he's a cyborg, General Grievous used that as well, because you're drawing your opponent in so they can slash at you. So they're not using the Force or anything like that. They're pulling you in, luring you in, and trying to basically, lack of a better term, distract you during the combat scene. And Grievous was great because he had 4 arms. So I mean, that was in and of itself. He would spin the blades around like toying with it and stuff, and like Darth Maul and the Phantom Menace, like luring you in, taunting, doing these little maneuvers to kind of get you closer, and then of course now you're in the strike path, so I can take you out. I just got you closer, so now you don't have time to defend yourself, So it's a very sinister way of doing it, but it's very effective, and it's again a sinister finesse,
Yeah. Especially for Grievous, since he couldn't use the Force, so that's pretty.
Yeah, he was just a tool.
Old, you see one of the older Clone War cartoon, the one before the computer animated one. You actually see Dooku training Grievous, and so yeah, this one. Oh, go ahead, Paradox. I'm sorry, I didn't mean.
Yeah, I mean, is it? You said Qui-Gon used this form too.
It's Qui-Gon. Mostly Darth Maul is the one you think about when.
Yeah.
Mostly someone using more than one saber. Usually, that's why they say Saj Ventress also.
Saj Ventress.
Yeah. So I would think also Ahsoka might have dabbled with this one also. Probably what you saw with her in the end of season 2 on Rebels. You figure when she took on the Inquisitors, that was probably Neiman.
Okay.
Yeah, another common name for it is called the Way of the Ranker. So if that kind of tells you, I know. Like I said, I made a cheat sheet because I found so much. I knew the styles, but the more I researched it, the more I found. Oh, it's also called this. I didn't know that. There you go. So even Jedi Chris is getting schooled again. So
we're getting older, folks. We got to re-go over this stuff again.
Yeah.
So. Now you get to the one they only want to talk about, the forbidden form, Form 7, called Juyo. Like Form 5 had 2 separate forms, the Master, also known as the Ferocity form. Vicious fighting form banned by the Jedi because it was so aggressive. They thought just by using this style, you could get turned to the dark side, just by using the style. And then also now we talk about this one often, the second form of Juyo was developed by Mace Windu called Vapad. Emphasized calm and definitely tagged as the most dangerous style for the user, as also for the opponent. And so basically, and what it was you used more emotion. You teetered close to the dark side, but you had to control your emotion and kind of without. You sort of used your opponent's emotion against him. Is basically that's how he defeated Palpatine. And also, I didn't know this, JC. They say Galen Marek uses this form also. Yes. I didn't know that. So
there's not only in the novels, there's only 2, but in the video game itself, you see, because it's called the Way of the what's it called, the Vornsker? Excuse me, I don't know. I had to write it down. But anyway, a very ferocious animal. So if you think about it, it's coming out with emotional, raw, explosive, rage. So what rage, anger, so dark side, tracking on that. So it is very explosive, and it's just dangerous and destructive, and also pretty cool to watch.
Wait, can I say something?
Of course.
Famous Rick, Rick Shaw said that Jyn Erso once killed the Rancor without the use of her arms and legs. Yes, by probably exposing your son.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I'm distracted by freaking Rick, but yeah, Julio, this form 7
we love you.
is we love you, Rick.
Okay.
One of my favorite fighting styles. Master this fighting style without being turned into the dark side. I think also didn't Darth Maul also kind of like dabbled into this because he used his anger to an aggression to fight against Qui-Gon and what's his name, Obi-Wan in the first episode. But I think this is like probably one of the most dangerous and most powerful fighting style. I just want to know if Mace Windu fought against Anakin, who would win using these.
Well, I personally think Mace Windu would have won because he got sucker punched, so to speak, caught off guard. But just for the folks watching, Jedi Master Sora Bulk worked with Mace Windu to perfect the pad, and but what wasn't commonly known, unless you're a nerd like me and you really drink the marrow from the comic books and stuff, he actually taught Depa Billaba how to do it as well. She then in turn taught Quinlan Vaz how to do it as well. So Quinlan Vaz, another one of my favorite characters who you only see in comic books, and that would be a character I would love to see again because he doesn't get killed. He disappears, and you see him on the planet of Kashyyyk, the big explosion, but then in the comic books, he escapes that and he takes off with his girlfriend and his baby and disappears. So, but I'm getting off track here. But anyway, the thing is, other people learn how to do it, but never used it. So Sora Bulk, he ends up crossing over to the dark side during the Clone Wars, in case people don't know that. So he ends up going up against like Anakin and Obi-Wan, and let's just say he doesn't
make it.
Yeah, you don't see him. You don't see him in any books after Clone Wars.
But a quick question, Chris. From what I was reading about that, also is that he didn't. I guess didn't go into it too much. Like I don't know. There was you actually have to be full into it to use it fully. Correct? Like
you basically the lightsaber becomes an extension of you. You basically merge with it, and it's your pure emotion. And it's this ferocious dance, and it's just like a raw emotional type thing, and it does opens up people to the dark side.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's like I said, I've seen there's some things if you go on the website and look, there's some people that have actually done like cartoon style reenactments of what that looks like, and then you might see some folks who've done ninjutsu and things like that. They're copying the style with actual blades and stuff. So
oh wow,
it's all on the internet. It's really cool. I'm just saying. I mean, I can't imagine anyone actually physically doing the pad without cutting themselves or somebody nearby or damaging your couch or something.
I've done it against my kids. I always win.
I figured you would.
No mercy.
That's the Mandalorian way, that raw, explosive rage. So,
yeah, I have 3 boys there. They're all attacking me, and no mercy for the weak. That's why I say.
Sound like you need one, boy.
Self-defense, man. Self-defense. Yeah.
All right. So, quick question: which is your favorite? Actually, what is your favorite fighting style?
Form 5.
Form 5.
I'm with you. It's just Anakin just was so ferocious. You know what I mean? And it was a beautiful thing to watch. And I don't know, Kenobi, the defensive thing, just like even watching Floyd Mayweather, I was never a fan of counter punching. You know what I mean? But for me, it's Form 5. About you before we move on.
I would have to say Form 3 and 5 because they actually Form 5 came out of Form 3. Just in case anyone didn't know that. So they both complement each other, and based on the movements, they fluidly transition into each other, in and out, without So it's again, who doesn't like to watch lightsaber fights? Let's face it.
And we had lack of lightsaber fights in the new trilogy.
We'll get into that in a minute.
Hey man, Yeah, you don't have to be hurtful. You don't have to be hurtful.
That's good. That's good.
So you want to hit him with the full question before we move on, or?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen watching the show, I'm going to apologize up front because I'm giving you a brain buster. You want that Vader, you're going to earn it.
Yeah.
And I know some of you are probably going to be angry because you're going to think it's a certain somebody, and I might have mentioned the name already as I logged in here, but it's not that person. So just, yeah. All right. So the question is, all right, since we're giving away like one of the favorite Sith Lords in the Star Wars known galaxy, who was the first Sith Lord, and what era was this person at? You know, the person. Okay, I'll give you a spoiler. Was a Jedi before, obviously, and this person ended up leaving the Jedi Order with a group of Dark Knights, Dark Jedi. So what era was that? And it's got to be the era of BBY, also known before the Battle of Yavin. Here's the second part of this question. Who freed his spirit after he died? We're talking 100 years or so after this person died. So who freed his spirit? What year was it in BBY? And what was the name of that era?
Damn.
And in case you guys are wondering,
damn,
this is all old Republic stuff.
Nice.
That's where Jedi Chris likes to go when he wants to be alone with himself. Is goes far back, 5,000 years before what we see in the movies. So
we might not be giving away this one today.
It's a good one.
I don't know. I think there's somebody out there that's smarter than me that can absolutely figure this one out. So,
nice.
I'm sure. Yeah, like father-in-law just raised his hand. He is smarter than me. Just throwing it out there. So my family's here. They're quiet. They're just doing crafts. So
hello, family. Anyway, moving on. Topic 2 is a good topic I wanted to talk about for a while. Is Star Wars video games throughout the years, and also we want to talk about the latest Battlefront 2 with these money grab type of situation. They're trying to charge the users for loot crates and get heroes and all that kind of stuff. So, Paradox, what were some of your favorite Star Wars games throughout the years? Or have you played Battlefront 2 at all, or no?
Knights of the Old Republic. I mean, that's kidding. I was just giving a shout out to Ian with that shout out. Okay, well, so Knights of the Old Republic was my favorite Star Wars game of all time. Have you guys played that game? Chris, or
I didn't have first Xbox, so no.
No, you guys have to go back. Oh, if you guys can pick that game up. But do you guys know the story? I don't want to give away spoilers if you haven't played it.
I've read about it, seen videos and stuff about it.
Oh, so you guys know?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely. You go online and check it out. So it's. But have I played those? No.
Yeah, to me, when I was playing that game, I mean, that was eons ago. But when I find out the twist of the whole story, my mind, my pants were blown away. I was like, "What the fuck?" That was one of the greatest twists to me in any video game I've ever played, and that one was one of my favorites. I actually dabbled into an online game called Star Wars Galaxies. I was a bounty hunter. Surprise, surprise. In that, I love Star Wars games, and to be honest, not enough of good ones out there. I mean, Battlefront 2 was good, or is good, but there's so many drama behind it. I feel like video games is just all about money.
The campaign was really good, I thought, in Battlefront 2.
Yeah. The campaign's good, but I mean, just in general, like for other stuff, like unlocking this, unlocking that, you have to dish out money. If you want more content, dish out money, more story, dish out. It's just, like you end up, once you're done playing the video game and you bought all these expansions, it's like $100 to like $150. Like, really? But yeah, there's a lot of video games. I played Jedi Outcast on the computer. And a lot of them were at that point canon in the Star Wars universe. And I just wish that hopefully more video games that come out story based would be canon now, And I would like to see like obviously a bounty hunter game. Like I know they came out with a Jango Fett before. Was that one The Force Unleashed? That was cool. That was one of my other favorite ones. But I mean, I could go on and on. But I hope at some point they come out with a good storyline video game, like bounty hunter or like a Jedi one, where you kind of progress through like the Force and training and all that good stuff. Thor.
Well, Battlefront 2, basically, the campaign, what it is, it starts at the end of Return of the Jedi. You actually see the Death Star exploding, and you start out with this Imperial Special Forces group called Inferno Squad. And later on, some stuff happens that, I mean, spoiler or whatever, you end up joining the rebellion. And then later on, it actually leads all the way up to the beginnings of The Force Awakens, and then you see as an appearance by Kylo and everything, and heroes that you've seen throughout the original trilogy, they show up during the game. Like you play alongside Han and Leia and Lando and Luke. So it's the campaign, and then later on is a little sequence you play as Kylo. So it was a great game. But far as my favorite. I don't know if did you guys ever play? There was actually an episode 3 game that came out for PlayStation 2, and I don't know if you ever played that one. I think it came out before The Force Unleashed, but it basically the play engine was the same, and I thought it was great because I played it actually before I saw the movie, so I kind of knew I couldn't wait to play it, so I just played it. And you use Anakin, and you actually fight. You run into Jocasta Nu. And you fight some Jedi Masters. That's something I always wanted to see in the movie, but you do it in the game. You fight some of these Jedi Masters inside the temple. So it was a great game. It was a great game. Basically, it was like The Force Unleashed, but it was, obviously you playing as Anakin and you play some as Obi-Wan and everything. It was a great game, but Force Unleashed, I think pound for pound, Force Unleashed. The first one. The second one I thought was a little bit disappointing.
Yeah.
But the first one was a great game. I mean, that was a great game, man. Too bad it's not canon anymore. And JC, I pretty much know your answer on this one, so go ahead.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Nice, man.
So anyway, actually, back when I did play some games here and there, I got into like Dark Forces with Kyle Katarn.
Oh, nice.
Which that was a lot of fun because what was his name? Jarek and Bach and all these Sith gang of just ragtag people, and was it name Cerise, or I'm trying to think of the female just cutthroat. Anyway, that's kind of where I got into. Okay, well, if video games have books, I want to know more, so I end up getting the books. And then fast forward a few years, here you get The Force Unleashed, and I just thought, holy crap, he can pull a Corellian Corvette Star Destroyer out of the sky. I'm thinking, this is great, and then like just vaporizing a freaking stormtrooper. It showed like the unlimited potential of the Force, and I wish the movies would tap into that more. But I think with that, it just showed a whole different level. And I agree. The second one, okay, the book was good. The game was it's okay, but again, I like the character, so of course I'm going to watch it. It kind of gives you that closure and that happy ending, so to speak. But I do like the fact that Galen Merrick actually goes up after Darth Vader basically kind of sells him out, and he ends up confronting the Emperor, and it's like, well, I got nothing to lose, and just goes full bore, and we obviously know what happens because the Emperor still lives. Yeah, I mean it's pretty gutsy to do that. So no, I enjoyed that immensely. So yeah,
I remember what was it, Empire Strikes Back on Atari, when you got to fly around the walkers and put the cable just like the Battle of Hoth. I remember that one. So shows how old I am.
I remember going into the arcade. And they had the Death Star flight simulator, so you actually sit in this little dark booth.
Yep.
It's like you're flying, you're shooting down all the TIE fighters, and you go into the trench, and it's
you use many tokens on that game. Many token.
Oh yeah,
that and the Tron game, the Light Cycle game, and the disc game. I mean, that tells you how old I am. But yeah, I remember that. Lots of quarters.
Yeah.
Of course, these kids today, they don't know what arcades are, so
Yeah, let's not go there, guys. So just
we're dating ourselves at this point. But I hope they come out with some good video games in the future, man. I mean, Battlefront 2 was a good stepping stone with the campaign and the story mode, and tying it with with Episode 3 and Force Awakens. That's all pretty cool. I can't wait to see what else they have. Hopefully, in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I think something I thought about as I was thinking about this topic. I think a Han Solo game prior to Episode 4 would be great. Like, use him sort of like a co-op sort of thing. In Millennium Falcon, you go on the Kessel Run, you deal with Jabba, you got to deal with outrunning the Empire, all that kind of. I think that'd be a great game. Boba, you got to deal with him. He'd probably be the main antagonist.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be a great game. Especially since they're doing a movie, in that time frame, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, I think maybe running to Lando every now and then. So
speaking of movie, from what I heard, Vader and Boba are going to make an appearance.
I knew.
Solo.
I had heard Vader was, but Boba I knew for sure was going to be in it. I mean, how can you not have him?
Yeah.
Both working for Jabba. I mean, it's kind of like like work colleagues. You're going to run into them eventually. So.
Yeah, but I can't wait to see it.
So, all right, we're going to move on to the final topic. Let me know at any time if we get a winner of Lord Vader. If not, we just keep him for next time.
I'll be gentle. Yeah, I'll be gentle next show in case no one wins this one. So.
Yeah. So, what are predictions for Episode 9? Getting into Episode 9, we've seen The Last Jedi and everything. Saw what happened. Luke, Kylo, the whole deal. Supreme Leader Snoke, everything. So, JC, we'll start you off on this one. What are your predictions for Episode 9?
Well, honestly, I think if they want to do it smartly and keep us interested, I think there's going to be a lot of, you're in the future. They fast forward 10 years, and then there's going to be a lot of backtracking, maybe showing, how they discovered Snoke and how he helped muster up everybody out in the Outer Rim to become the remnant, the Imperial remnant, becoming the first order. I also see because they show the kid at the end using the Force to grab his broom and stuff like that. Maybe even showing, Rey doing the next gen type training type stuff. But I do think, is there going to be a big battle? Yeah, it wouldn't be called Star Wars if there wasn't a big battle. But I do see him kind of. I think if they want to be artistic and kind of, put a bow on top of this big package, the 9-part is kind of doing we've moved ahead. We're here. The battle's already been going on, and now we're kind of going, what did we miss? I think that would be really cool to see it that way. And I'll say the details for, what I think I would like to see. I'll save that for a different show. It's like, is Kylo Ren and Rey going to fight? Well, yeah, they've fought the last 2 movies. Of course they're going to fight again, so who will be the victor?
Paradox.
So basically, I really hope that J.J. Abrams, he has a lot of work to do to try and tie everything together in this movie. My predictions, my opinion, I think that Kylo and Rey are brother and sisters. For some reason, I don't know. I feel strongly with that. There has to be a connection with them. I hope they explain that. When they were talking to each other, and Kylo was like half naked, and memes have become, a Kylo meme challenge has spurred out of that. But basically, I just want to see everything explained because we went into The Last Jedi with a of questions. We left there with 1,000 more questions. Snoke this. Who the hell? Who's this guy? Who's that guy? And I just want. I don't know how long this movie is gonna be, but there's a lot of questions to be answered, and I want all of them to be answered at this point. And I hope that they do that. J.J. Abrams does that. And while giving us fans what we want to see. We want to see the space battles. We want to see more lightsaber fighting scenes. We want this. We want explanation with Rey's parents. Is it really that's all to it with Rey's parents and all that stuff? But yeah, it's just at this point, Luke. What happened with Luke? From what I'm hearing, through the grapevine, is that Luke is going to show up with a whole bunch of the other Force ghosts, like Anakin is going to be part of it, which I would like to see. Anakin, Obi-Wan, Yoda, they're all going to be like there. So I don't know. Is Snoke really dead? All these things, I would like to see, and hopefully get some more explanations in the next movie. Thor?
I think ultimately what's going to happen with this is it's been confirmed that the Praetorian Guard, they were not the Knights of Ren. So okay. I think, and what also I'm reading is all of the Knights of Ren are all Force sensitive, because these are the guys that Kylo brought with him out of Luke's Jedi Academy. Now, what I think the basis of this movie will be is kind of like an arms race. It's going to be Rey trying to get Force sensitives to train in her academy, and Kylo either saying you join me or you're not going to live. So it's basically join the Knights of Ren or in his little movement and become sort of his like Inquisitor type of situation, or he has to take them out because he doesn't want any Force sensitives to join Rey. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, I think I'm holding out that she is going to turn to the dark side, because in every movie she dabbles with the dark side. The first one, she thought about killing Kylo. Mm-hmm. You kind of see her like stalking him when he's on the ground and everything. And the second one, what happens? She gets pulled to the dark side, that whatever that hole in the ground was on Octu, mm-hmm. and everything. Every movie you see her being tempted by the dark side, and they keep flirting with it. I think because if you think about it, they're doing things opposite of how things went in the original trilogy. Now, the original draft of Return of the Jedi, Luke was supposed to turn to the dark side and kill Vader and join the Emperor. Mm-hmm. So I think that might be the direction they might go in this one. And I'm still holding on that she's related to the Emperor. It's got to be an explanation why she's so powerful. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm going with. I think it's going to be an arms race as far as getting Force sensitives. Mm-hmm. And we will see the Knights of Ren, and it's probably going to be a time gap, and she will have trained. Maybe she found Broom Boy, the little boy. I don't know. Broom Boy. I don't know what to call him.
Broom Boy. Clean up.
Found him.
Clean up after me.
So, that's what I'm going with. Arms race, Knights of Ren. She's related to the Emperor. And I think she might end up killing Kylo, and she becomes the Supreme. Because I think this is going to be a bridge. I think this whole trilogy is basically them wiping out remnants of the old trilogy, so they can start basically doing now that they've cleaned everything up. Now they can actually start doing their thing. That's just my opinion, because that's and I remember Kevin Smith, and I kind of agree with it because I've been waiting for it these last two movies. He think the next thing to be wiped out from the original trilogy will be the Millennium Falcon. And I will shed many tears when that happens. If they destroy the Millennium Falcon. So
how about Chewbacca? Chewbacca, the droids, do you think they'll still be around, or do you think they'll?
I doubt. If they do, you won't see them much, because they want to, they want to start their own thing. They want to start some, let the past die, kill all that other kind of stuff. But those are my predictions going forward.
I'm gonna say if they kill Chewbacca, that's it. I'm walking out of the movie theater.
Yeah, I might follow you.
the non-canon novels. Chewbacca died in Prime. That was Vector Prime. So same with Anakin Solo, which again no longer canon. Yeah. That already happened. I just don't want to see it, because everyone who doesn't like Chewbacca.
Yeah.
I just want. What do you think? All right, so what's their fighting styles? What's Kylo's fight? Do you guys know if they have one, or Like if Kylo or Rey has a fighting style?
I'm thinking she might be the. I think in the next movie she might end up using the double saber because she likes using that staff. Because remember she has to construct the lightsaber because hers is now gone.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she's gonna be end up using that double, the Darth Maul style.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go ahead, JC. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say I think Kylo Ren just when it comes to lightsaber duel, he's just really sloppy. So I think he's probably like maybe a cross between forms 1 and 2, but not very good. I think what's kind of crazy is like Rey just intuitively seems to resonate. I'm gonna have to go. I'm looking at the form styles because like watching her, listening to you guys talking and like seeing her sword fighting. Actually, no, she doesn't have a whole lot of grace, so I can't give her that one.
Yeah, she's very aggressive though. I have to say, once like in Force Awakens, when she just like the Force, and then like she starts like going ham. You know, maybe Form 5.
Who, Rey?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm gonna go more. I'm gonna stick with 1. I'm gonna stick with 1 with her. You know,
1. Yeah.
You see
maybe 3, maybe I don't know.
Now, I see hints of 2 in some of this in the movie, especially the second movie. But yeah, yeah, 1 and 2. I mean, both of them are at the 1 and 2 level. You know, novice,
lowest level.
One's angry and one wants to get everyone to get along. So there you go, the yin and the yang. We're watching that happen unfold. So
yeah. So I mean, I hope that I don't know what else to think of episode 9. I'm still in shock with episode 8. So I just hope that they put everything together. You know, that would be cool to see the Knights of Ren. You know, come back. So
we have a winner.
Yeah.
Okay, I knew I had to make it hard because that statue giveaway is way too awesome for an easy one. So
we had somebody get the name, but not the era or anything led. So got to get a complete answer, y'all. So I guess we got to hold on to this one till next 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks from now. So, okay.
Savor it. Think about it. Sleep on it. Yeah. So closing thoughts, gents.
Yeah, this is a very awesome show. I have to say, I really like talking about the fighting styles and the video games. And to be honest, I could go on and on. Like I just want to know, if so and so fought this one, maybe we'll dabble into it in another show. If like Mace Windu fought Yoda, who would win? That would be like a cool thing to think about and stuff like that. Rick in the chat mentioned that just one more Jyn Erso comment that Jyn Erso kissed a Wookiee and enjoyed it. So,
oh my god!
Wow, there's
JC.
How do you follow that one? I don't know.
Jyn Erso has done many things. Jyn Erso was the most interesting woman in the Star Wars universe. So yeah, but yeah.
All right. So been another great show. We'll see you in about 2 weeks. Don't forget to watch the CV show tonight live from LA at the Collectiveverse dinner. We're gonna be here hosting by our boy ID Collector Ian. JC, you're gonna be there too, right?
I will be there, and I will be dressed quasi nice. So I will have my sport coat, but I'll have the Collectiveverse shirt on underneath. So
nice.
The little rogue dress attire, but yes, I'll be there. Head freshly shaved, so I look all professional like. But it'll be a good time. I know we've got some good giveaways going on there, and then Jedi Chris is also donating some pretty awesome Star Wars stuff for the evening. So
oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I've got some old stuff that I think people would really appreciate. So I'm bringing that with me. So yeah. Anyway, so more to follow. So tonight, stay tuned and definitely watch the dinner. It'll be fun. We'll talk with people. we should have some interesting folks to not only speak with, but also rumors that I think Sideshow may be there as well. So that'll be nice to actually meet the folks that make the awesome things that we like to collect. So I'm pretty excited about that. So more to follow. Stay tuned.
Cool. That's what's up. All right, people. Stay cool, my Jedi and Sith friends, and my bounty hunters also. And we'll catch you again in 2 weeks and from Sith Happens.
All right. May the Force be with you guys.
May the Force be with you guys. Thanks for watching.